Oh.
Yo. How's it going, my G?
I'm good. I'm very, very well. Thanks for having me on In Conversation. In Conversations?
In Convos.
In Convos, sorry.
Remixing the thing.
Yeah, sorry. Go again.
No, it's good, man. It's a little introduction. Don't you
In
worry,
Convos.
man.
But
So, please, can you introduce yourself to the people? Give them your name. Who are you?
So, my name is Dorrani Williams. I am a video producer, content creator, and I'm scaling my own independent media brand that revolves around games, lifestyle, and entertainment.
Oh, nice. You want to give a bit more of a background on what you do on a day-to-day basis?
On a day-to-day basis, what do? I make content. I try to make content in each and every single way. So at 100percentcrit, it is at the moment focusing on short-form content. So that's places like TikTok, Instagram Reels, YouTube Shorts, mainly because that's where a lot of eyes are at the moment, that new generation, and I think I can tap into that new generation. But I ain't gonna lie, where the money is on YouTube with a long form. So later on down in this year, I'm gonna be doing long form content also and try and break into that space because that's where I wanted to go originally.
Describe a perfect day for you.
A perfect day for me in terms of like content creation, or are you talking just like in general life?
Just in general, man. What's the perfect day?
In general life. So my perfect day starts weeks before. It starts with me and my friends and like potential collaborators working on a project, and we're planning it out. We're scheming, and then the day that we actually execute and all of our plans come to fruition, that is like my perfect day, especially when it's with people that I enjoy working with and I enjoy collaborating with. When we actually get to the day where we're like, yes, we're creating this video, we're creating this content, we're creating whatever it is we're creating, that feels good to me.
Nice, man. So we kind of would like to know a bit about you. So what were you like as a child? Like at school, we're going back a little bit.
Oh, what was I like as a child? My nickname was Trouble. That's what all my teachers would call me, Trouble. I think I was very high energy when I was younger. Very, very high energy. Just a bundle of just hyperactive. Just want to do stuff. Just want to do everything. Yeah, that's what I can say really on that. I was just really hyper. Yeah. You talking about like in school or like in my household?
Just how was you as a youngster? Like, did you know what you was going to be when you grew up? Kind of.
Nah. Definitely, I'm a person that is a sort of, I tried everything. I tried absolutely everything. I always wanted to do stuff. I was always known for, and I still am, known for like doing something. Like I always wanted to try stuff. When I was younger, I used to do like free running and parkour, music, graphics design, and then like I ended up with like video and like presenting sort of vibes. But I always wanted to just like do things and just get stuck into something. I was never one to like sit down when I was younger. So
you was a creator from young then? You just finding your pathways?
Yeah. Me, it's like a really and truly, it's a jack of all trades sort of situation. I tried absolutely everything I could when I was younger. Which is good because it sort of helped me figure out what I want to do, or even still what I like and don't like in life. What you know what I mean? So when you try a lot of things out, yeah.
Find your pathway. So obviously you've got into the gaming industry. So what inspired you to pursue that career pathway?
So when I was younger, I wanted to be a game developer. That was like the first thing. I was like, oh my God, I love this thing, gaming. This is like Halo times, like Halo Combat Evolved. And I was like, I just love this thing. It's like, this is bringing me so much joy. I would like to do the thing. I would like to bring the joy to people. You know what I mean? I would like to create games that bring joy to people. But as I got older, I sort of realized that I had the gift of the gab. I could speak, I could talk really well. And that made me say, okay, I'm gonna be a presenter. And then I was like, I don't know if I really want to be a presenter as such. And then I got into I feel like I've completely messed up your question now because it's a longer story.
No, let's go, man. You were going.
No. So I think No, what was the original question? Because what was the original question?
I said, oh no, you forgot.
No, I've got you messed up now. I've got you messed up because I feel like.
I know. What inspired you to get into the games industry?
Yeah, so it's just a love for video games. I love for video games, and I wanted to find a way where I could be a part of it using the skill set that I have, essentially, which is speaking and creating and having a vision and delivering content at a high level.
Nice. What was your first job in the games industry?
My first job in the games industry was as a video producer. My first and only job, because I'd done that and I went freelance. So
nice.
Not freelance, but to do my own thing.
Oh, cool. And what was that?
I was a video producer in the games press, and then for reasons, I was like, you know what? I think I can do this, but I think I can do it with I think I can give it new life. I think it was becoming a little bit too like standard, and I don't want to say boring, but I wasn't finding like a lot of fulfillment in the content I was making at the time. And I thought to myself, okay, I want to create my own. I want to create my own content, still in the same space, gaming, but I want to deliver it better. And I think I can deliver it better on my own and do the same thing I was doing there and get better results and deliver it to a new audience also.
So for the people that do or don't know, what is 100%crit?
100%crit. So 100%crit is a games, lifestyle, and entertainment brand. So at the moment, the focus is on games, and then towards the end of the year, we're gonna do entertainment. So entertainment, mainly films, and then the lifestyle is sort of like just throughout the whole brand, the whole company, because it is just me for the time being. But there is a strong focus on having confident presenters on the show that people can attach to and who are authoritative, and people like will take their word as bond sort of vibe. That's where we want to be at the end. Yeah.
And how does it feel like running something of your own? Like how does that? Because obviously you transitioned from a full-time job, or like working in a company, to now like.
Lord, running this thing by myself is mad. It is very mad. It's a lot slower than I thought it was going to be. I'm not going to lie. It's a lot slower. There's a lot more. You have to wear a lot of hats. You have to wear a lot of hats when you're doing this thing by yourself, because I'll give you an example. Like, you're playing a video game that is potentially 60 hours long, right? And then you have to play that video game. You have to capture the gameplay. You have to then write notes out. The notes are that's on another screen, so you're typing out your notes, but then you have to think, okay, where did these notes go? Are you gonna make guides? Are you gonna make thoughts and impressions? What sort of content are you actually gonna make? Then you have to actually have the skills to bring those notes and turn them into a script or a piece. You have to be able to edit. I'm not talking like edit as in edit in like Premiere Pro or Final Cut. I mean like to be able to edit your words into something that's readable. Then you have to take that. Then you have to know how to do your audio correctly. You understand? Because you have to voice that audio. Then you have to know how to edit like the whole, like the audio, the music, the gameplay into one thing. Then you have to know your export settings. Long story short, get into the production. By the time you get to posting the video, you've worn so many hats and you've had to delegate your time so like meticulously. It's a lot. That's all I can say. It is a lot trying to do this thing on my own. And sometimes it's that whole long thing, that whole long process I just described to you, it's that, but you're doing it simultaneously with, like, because you might be playing like 2 or 3 games at once. So imagine that.
So yeah, obviously you've transitioned obviously from a full-time job, and for a lot of people, you know, they might want to be making that transition as well.
Yeah.
Was it a hard transition? Was it a hard transition, and was there a reason why you left like your old job?
Was it a hard thing to transition into my own thing? Not really, you know. I don't think it was. I think it just takes a lot of like, you have to have confidence in yourself, I'd say. You have to say, listen, because when you leave a normal job, like you're leaving so much like stability and structure. You know what I mean? You wake up, you go to work, like, and work is gonna be there, like sort of every day, Monday to Friday. You wake up and you're just there. And when you're doing something for yourself, like you have to build the structure. You have to make everything yourself. You can't just wake up, go somewhere, come home. You have to like wake up and like plan your whole week out. You know what I mean? So there's a lot more, you have to do a lot more for yourself. And I think that was the hardest part for me. And it still is, trying to find the sort of, there's a word I'm looking for here and I can't find it at all. It's not balance. It's like motivation and like desire. You have to want to do this. You actually really have to want to do this, because if you don't do something, nothing gets done. You know what I mean? Like at work, things are just sort of given to you in a normal job. But when you're by yourself, you need to create opportunities out of thin air, which is a lot harder than you'd think. So yeah, that's the hardest part. And it's a lot more lonely as well. I'm not gonna lie, it's a lot more lonely doing this thing by yourself. Usually you'd have like a big team of staff mates and people to like rely on and stuff. But really and truly, it's just you by yourself when you're doing this thing on your own. Which is it's not all bad doing it by yourself, because that means you have the final say. You have the final say on what ends up
being pushed out. So yeah.
For
a lot of people, they get pressured into, you know, if you're in one field, one creative field, you just kind of stick to that. Is there anything else you're doing outside of kind of, you know, your
not really, because I think in terms of like all of the things that I'm interested in life, 100%crit sort of covers all of those things. You know what I mean? So I love games, I love film, and I love music, which 100%crit will cover.
So you covered yourself in your...
Yeah, basically. So I've got strong opinions on all the things that I love, and I can turn these thoughts into content. So
no, that's blessed, because obviously there's a lot of people that don't have that. You know, like I'm saying, like obviously it's really fortunate you've been able to like pick the things or have the things that you enjoy and transition that into like your work basis or / hobby / like your day-to-day thing. So it's sometimes nice for people to be like, oh, okay, do you know what? I can actually shift that into something. Basis.
I think that, you know, that's what they say, innit? Find something that you love and you never work a day in your life, sort of vibes. You do work a day, and that saying is a lie. I tell you, that saying is a lie, because I love this and it feels like work a lot of the time, but it's still fun.
Now, so what are some of the perks you really enjoy about the industry or like your job?
You know what I really like about like the games industry and like working in it? It's like the preview process. So when a game is like about to be released, they'll send out codes for previews, or they'll invite people to come and like play the game and get their thoughts and impressions. And I like being part of that. I like having my say, because the games industry is a certain way and it's an old voice. But like, I believe I can speak for a newer generation and make it so it's a little bit more understandable and not boring. I think I can deliver it in a way that like the younger generation and my generation will be like, yeah, I understand what he's saying. I think the older generation and games press currently, they sort of speak with, I don't know, it's like they write for each other, they don't write for audiences. So I think I can write to an audience and write well, and I like to have my thoughts on, I just like having my voice being added into the mix, so people they have opinions from all angles, essentially. And I think that my opinion on games holds weight, because I feel like I'm very critical of things. So I can say with authority and people will be like, okay, yeah, I definitely get it, because I can critique any game as good as any of these other games companies could, but make it so it's way more digestible.
Nice, man. So we wanted to like kind of dive into your kind of opinions of like the gaming industry. A little bit, because you know, as we're, I think it's come to that point where, you know, there's a lot of opinions, and obviously some people's opinions gets heard, some opinions like don't, but it's always valid and important to make sure, you know, everybody's voices get heard, like whether you like it or not. So yeah, man, if there was one thing you can change about the industry, what would it be?
Ooh, this is a tough one. Okay, here's what I'd change about the games industry currently, right? I want the people who are coming up in the games industry to be less entertainment focused, essentially. I think there's a lot of creators out there who really and truly could do bits behind the scenes, but I feel like people want to stream and make YouTube content, which is totally fine, but I think I would like to see these people like go into like the sound design of video games, or become an editor-in-chief at a press website, or become a PR person, or like there's so many jobs within the games industry, but everyone wants to go towards just the entertainment side and being like an influencer. That's one thing that I like to see changed. And
obviously that obviously can be a very touchy subject. And like, do you think that's come down to, you know, maybe how the education system is, or like how like visual and how these jobs are kind of seen in the industry? Because like you said, there's so many avenues, but there's a lot of people that potentially either don't know, or do you just feel like it's becoming an easy, quote unquote, that direct route into the games industry if you're going to start from like, you know, your streaming side?
I think it just looks quite glamorous. Not glamorous, but I think it looks, who doesn't want to play video games and make money, you know what I mean? Who doesn't want, like, that is what streaming is. Of course, it's a performance at the same time, and streaming is not as easy as certain streamers make it out to be. And a lot of streamers have to put in like a lot of effort to like retain their audiences, but everyone wants to be like a Shroud or a Summit and just turn on live, just go live, play whatever video game and get paid. And I'm just like, yeah, who wouldn't want to just do the thing they were doing anyway, as in play video games and just get paid for it? So I think it's just been glamorized quite a bit, but I'm like, yo, there's a lot of like really impactful jobs, because not everyone is entertaining enough or good enough at games to stream or to make content, but can still be of like immense value in other sectors in the games industry. And I think that changes. Like, I think it needs to be advertised more about the other possibilities within the gaming space. I think that's where it needs to start a bit sooner. It needs to start a bit sooner. So like careers days. I remember when I done my careers day when I was in like high school. Ain't nobody tell me about the games industry. Not one mention of the games industry. I'm not sure how it is now, but it needs to happen from a lot sooner, because people can stream from they're like 16 years old and that. So I think they would have like careers day will look different in high school versus like a university. You know what I mean? I think it needs to happen from like high school and even primary school. Let them know that this, you know what I mean? It's not just fireman and doctor when you're in primary school. You know what I mean? Say, oh, you can actually be an engineer on this game and you can do this, or you can go into sound, but you don't have to go into sound in music. You can go that sound in like traditional music. You can go into sound in game design or film and do like Foley sound, for example. So it needs to just happen a lot sooner, and it needs to advertise that these things are actually here for people to get into.
Yeah, I think it is. No, that's very true. Like, like when you actually break it down, it definitely comes to like grassroots kind of like education, because at the end of the day, you know, that is, because there is obviously in the games industry alone, like the big conversation of wanting to have diverse individuals in like higher up positions, you know?
Yeah.
And like, as like we've been saying as well, like it has to start from like the grassroots, you know? Like, are they having institutions having like more like work experience where they go into like gaming like studios, but like, or are they having people come to do talks like, in this space that you can see alone, man? There's a lot of kids that are being more exposed to like the gaming industry, but they're not being exposed to
all of it. It's not all of it they're being exposed to, and that's the problem. I think we just need to see the rest of the games industry and let it be known that there's other jobs, because you might be a fantastic writer, but you never thought to like write guides or write opinion pieces about video games, you know what I mean? Because you didn't think it would be like an actual avenue that you can go down as a career. So yeah, no, I'd like to see it like from earlier, just people saying, yes, you can do this. So yeah.
What is a big misconception about the industry?
A big misconception about the industry, I have one. I think people believe it's a lot bigger than it is, but from what I've seen, it's actually quite small, like the industry as a whole, like in terms of, any way you want to look at it, I feel like you're only one or two people away from the person that you want to like speak to within the industry, if that makes sense. So if you want to speak to, say like I'm a video producer and I want to speak to another video producer who's across the world, I just message two people, oh, do you know this person? Chances are, yeah, they know that person. It's just really small. It's really like small and well connected. Everyone knows each other. Yeah, it's a lot smaller. Like the media side of things, the consumer side of things, of course, gaming is like the biggest industry in the world, entertainment industry in the world. But like the making it and like press and covering it, yeah, man, it's easy to find people. It's really small. It's really small. That's one thing people don't think about.
So funny that, because like that kind of touches on like networking. Would you like give any like tips or like tips and tricks for people that are trying to get into that? Because obviously not everybody can have that confidence to just, or know where to start to find like a game or to find a company and know where to look at. Would you have any tips or any
tips and tricks? I'd say you need to make good content first and foremost. I'll tell you this for free, right? You need to make good content. So when you approach people, they see you're not on stupidness. So first and foremost, just make good content that you believe in, and like find people around you who will give you very honest opinions about your work as well. Because if you're gonna have people around you who just want to support you and say, oh, okay, like, those people are gonna say to you that your work's good no matter what. But if you can find people that are like, say, listen, like, you need to change that part and this part and that part, and give you like actual constructive feedback to make your content better, your content will be better off for it, and which will lead you to, when you're approaching these companies and people that you want to get into contact with, they'll say, okay, yeah, this guy's really on job. Because a lot of these people, there's actually not many, like, there's a lot of creators in the space, but there's not a lot of like high tier creators. And if you just create content to a good level and you approach these people and say, hey, this is what I'm about, here's my vision, they'll jump on board. They'll jump on board, honestly. That's like my one tip. And don't be scared as well. Like when you send these messages, just send it, be confident, but don't like dwell on the reply either, because these PRs and stuff that people you might be reaching out to, and just people you might want to collaborate with, everyone's busy, everyone's going to be overwhelmed with their own stuff. Just be patient. You just continue to do what you're doing. Like, as I said, you have to like really love this thing and be confident in what you're doing and enjoy it. And you can't find your worth and value as a creator if people like resonate with your stuff. You need to just like send a message if you do want to, because everyone collaboration it feels so nice working with other people, but sometimes you're gonna get aired and you have to just keep it moving. Don't dwell on it. Don't like, say if you're messaging a PR, say, I don't know, Diablo's coming out, right? And you send the email and you get aired for ages. Like, you can't then message her and be like, where's my effing this and this? Like, nah, man, people are just busy. You know what I mean? And if you have to buy the game, you have to buy the game, innit? But just send it, don't dwell on it, keep it moving. And people will come to you as well, man. You need to have a lot of confidence, but definitely send the message in the first place. Don't send it because you might get aired, or you don't think that your quality is not high enough level, or you don't have the numbers like your peers do. Like, just send a message when you're confident within yourself and keep it moving. And if something happens, it happens. And it happens a lot more than you may think. So, yeah. That's some personal experience.
Carrying on from like personal experience, what's one of the most important lessons you've learned within your work life?
One of the most important lessons is finding that balance. Find the balance between enjoying this thing and knowing when it's actually work. A question I get all the time is, can you still like enjoy video games now that you like work within this space? And it's like, yeah, sometimes I have to, like, I can't play a game and not have like a Google document open. So it does like sort of change the way I still enjoy it, even though I'm doing that sort of stuff. Even though I'm thinking about how I'm going to create content about it, I'm still thinking like, okay, yeah, like I'm enjoying my time. These games are still great, but it's just finding the balance. Just finding the balance, making sure that you're setting boundaries for yourself and say, okay, listen, I'm going to work Monday. So I'm freelance, so it's like Monday to Thursday. Friday, I'm going to play games. I'm not opening the Google document. I'm not going to do any of the other things that require me to make content. I'm just going to play, enjoy, go out as well. What did the internet say these days? Go out and touch grass. Go out. I'm telling you, just leave the screen. Leave the screen. Go outside and just experience the world again. Find the balance and like don't neglect the people around you. Like go out and see your friends in real life. Playing video games online, yeah, that's cool and that, but trust me, go outside and like experience other things as well, or you're gonna burn out real fast if you don't strike that balance like well.
Obviously, in the game industry, and from our experience, like being confident and having that confidence, whether it's like inside the space or being outside.
Yeah.
Like, do you think because the game industry is heavily based behind being behind a screen, do you think that relates to how people are within the industry? Do you have any tips? Like, have you always been confident, like off and on the screen?
Yeah. I think from young I've always been confident. I'm not scared to go up to people and just say, hi, how are you? And not just in like those situations that require it. I'm talking about just like you're in Costa or Starbucks, like speaking to the person who you're interacting with, you know what I mean? Like those little things will train you up, just like knowing how to do small talk, learn to do small talk well. Because a lot of times you won't have to go much further than that, and just make a good first impression when you go out into the world, essentially. But that first impression can literally be you saying, like, asking someone how their day's going, or you'll be surprised where a conversation goes when you're at an event or somewhere. You'd say like, oh, so like, what do you do? Next thing you know, conversation's gone somewhere else and you're speaking about something, and yeah, but I'd say just speak to people. We're all human. Don't, like, when you're at these events, right, you're going to be around a lot of creators who you deem to be, like, out of your league or in spaces or in, like, a position that you might put them on a pedestal. But I'd say, as a whole, and not just for when you're at these events, in life, don't put no one on a pedestal. We're all human. Like, we're all infallible. No one's perfect. Speak to these people like you would anyone else. You know what I mean? Just be friendly. Don't be an asshole. That's the main rule. That's the one tip I'll give you. Don't be an asshole. And you'll be surprised how far you get in life when you just don't be a dick. That's the one thing. But go out, be confident, and just say, hi, how are you? When you leave, you say, enjoy your day, God bless. And you'll be like, rah, rah. Yeah, that's all I can say, man. And just don't be scared to just like, say for example, right, you're going to an event and you're like, you like have a goal in mind, you know what I mean? Of course, just be a nice person, but like, say you want to give out some business cards, or you just want to, I don't know, just connect. You want to be known to these people. Like, don't be scared to say, yo, follow me on Instagram. Like, don't be scared to exchange details with these people. Just be like, follow me. Like, let it be known that you're actually here, but you're not going to be. I've seen people go to events and just sit in a corner for the whole night, and I'm like, this is a networking event, my guy. Come on, like, get stuck in. And they're not putting no effort in. So, yeah. And speak to everyone as well. Don't. I know you might see someone who's like, oh, this is like the person I want to like just have a conversation with. Like, don't stay focused on that one person. Like, when you're out, like, everyone. And like, speak to everyone, as many people as you can, but like, don't just be like, right, I'm done speaking to you now, I'm off. Like, just be like, listen, I'm gonna go to the bar and get a drink, and then just don't go back to be like, go speak to the next person. Just go speak to the next person. But yeah, have confidence in yourself.
So for an individual that's like nervous, or like, when was the last time you felt nervous and you figured out a way of overcoming those nerves?
Just be sure of yourself. Just be sure of yourself and understand that they're probably nervous too. That's one thing you need to do. Like, get out of your head and just be present, be where your feet are, and understand that they probably feel nervous too. And if you can just muster up that courage to just be yourself, then yeah. A lot of people, they're doing facades online and they're not like that in real life. So be confident and you will overcome them.
Nice. So,
actually, I'm going to interject. Yeah, I'm going to interject because this is important. So, the people who run Arix Gaming, yeah. So, Arix Gaming, it was run by Alex, 26, and Paradise, right? They're the three, and Alex ain't there no more, and it's run by 26 and Paradise now, and those are my guys. Like, we've been pals for like a couple of years now, and I'd met Alex before. And they threw an airsoft tournament, like an airsoft thing. They invited bare people down, like they paid for it. They're lovely people, right? But it's the first time I was meeting 26, and he said something to me, and he was like, "Bro, like, you are exactly how I thought you was gonna be. You're exactly the same person as you are online that you are in real life." And I'm telling you, like, that meant so much to me. It was unreal. Like, you need to, like, don't try and be someone you're not online, because you're gonna inevitably meet people. You understand? Like, whoever you are in real life, be that person online, because you don't want people to be like, you're nothing like, you know what I mean?
Unless you're wanting to have a character or a persona.
Yeah. Unless you are like, that's like part of the thing, and you know that in yourself that you're not being genuine, not being genuine, but you're putting on an act for
like the cause of where your profession or your like.
Yeah, but I tell you that quick story because you don't want the opposite to happen. You don't want to meet someone and they tell you you are nothing like you are online, and I don't like that.
No, that's true. I think it's about being like the authenticity of like who you are, because it travels far, especially like through work. Through like job prospects, networking. The main thing is like that impression that you leave on that individual can actually take you further.
And people are gonna, when you're yourself, not everyone's gonna like it, bro. Not everyone's gonna like it, but stay true, man. Stay true, honestly.
So in that industry, you know, there's a big conversation about diversity.
Yes, there is.
There are so many different ways of how, you know, institutions are doing it, the way individuals are doing it, the way collectives are doing it. So like we always want to know, like, how do we continue to improve diversity in the industry?
So I'll tell you something for free. It's not gonna happen overnight, and it can't be fixed by having tick boxes in certain things. I think it needs to happen a lot sooner in industries, like across the board, because diversity is something that's just happening everywhere, right? When you say diversity, I'm assuming you mean like getting like people of color and different genders into these spaces. I think people just need to know that these like jobs are available and be given opportunities from a lot younger, so they can grow into their roles. You cannot just say, we need someone who ticks this box, and just pull someone with no experience just because they fit the diversity quota, and just throw them into something that they're not prepared for just because they're trying to fill a role. Because as a business, or as a company, whoever it is, you're diminishing your own gains if you're just picking someone who's not capable for the job. So you need to give people the opportunities from way earlier, let them grow and find passion and become great at what they do. So then they're just hired for being excellent at their job. You cannot just bring people from and just tick boxes, because it will diminish the final product of whatever it is. So to answer the question, how do we improve diversity? It needs to start a lot sooner. Give people opportunities and let them grow into it.
Paving the ways.
Yes,
Paving
exactly.
the ways correctly. For
exactly.
So, kind of want to go into a bit more about you and just a little bit of a roundup. So, what are some of your like go-to inspirations, whether it's like sites or mediums?
Inspiration? Yeah, inspiration. I take a lot of inspiration from film. A lot of like film inspiration. I love film so much, and other creators. Films and directors of films are creators if you think about it. Just people who can just pull things and pull ideas out of thin air. That's my thing. It's like, you ever watch something, you're like, this was just in this guy's head at one point, you know, like, and he's managed to bring it to fruition. And it's like, oh, look how he's done that. Look how he's done that. I like the mechanics of things, you know what I mean? Especially like with cameras as well. Cameras is like my latest thing. I'm still just like obsessed about it. I'm like, what? The new Oppenheimer film is shot on 70mm IMAX. Rah, why though? Why did he choose that format? That's the type of things that like get my brain ticking, and that's where I pull a lot of inspiration from. And that's like the grander scale of things, but like other creators on like YouTube or on TikTok or whatever who are doing some fancy stuff. I'm like, no way. They put in all this effort for like a 1-minute TikTok video. Like they're going all out. I'm like, holy shit, that's creative. And just, I'm a big fan of effort. That's what inspires me. Effort. When I see and I see people like trying to create things and trying to be different, and not just for different sake. When I see people like putting in effort and they're like speaking like profoundly about what they love, I'm like, yeah, that's inspirational. I want to be like that guy. I want to be like that girl. Yeah, that's where I pull my inspiration from. Others doing good work. Yeah.
Top 3 movies. Your top 3 movies.
I've been waiting for this question. I'm ready. Scott Pilgrim versus the World is number 1. Then we have Everything Everywhere All at Once in number 2. Then we have Blade Runner in 3. Then we have Interstellar at 4, even though you said 3. But
no, what's the 5th?
What's the 5th? Is there 5? The 5th one wouldn't be. Because I have like those 4 like locked and loaded, right? But the 5th one, I don't know.
All right, then what makes the top 3 so good?
What makes the top 3 so good? Scott Pilgrim versus the World. I love video games. It's basically a video game film. It has so much like life and heart. It just holds a special place. I knew that film was going to be sick, right? When the Universal logo, it played in chiptune and not its normal like theme. So you know the do 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 that it plays in chiptune and it doesn't play in like the normal standard way. And I went, yeah, this is a film for me. And when a man headbutted a man and he burst into coins, yeah, I went, this film is for me right here. Everything Everywhere All at Once, that's another thing. It's 2 directors, the Daniels, right? They didn't have much budget. They didn't have many resources. I think like the editing team was like 5 people, and they basically brought together one of the best films like ever made. And like from nothing, I was like, how is this even possible? And when you watch them, okay, so if you're a creator, right? If you're a creator and you're like, oh my God, how do I make things happen? Just watch the Daniels and like their set make Everything Everywhere All at Once, and you'll be like, okay, I can do this, because it looks so bootleg. It looks so mash up the way they're recording things, even though it's like there's still like a crew and all that sort of stuff. But when you hear them say like, "Oh, we like cut corners here," and you're like, "I cut corners too as a creator," or they're like, "Oh yeah, we cut corners here. We done this and we just made it look like that," and it's like, "Oh yeah, that's like the creator's film when you know the story." And A24, the production house, who said, "Yeah, we'll give you a chance," like they I don't know, man. They were right in giving those guys what little resources they, you know what I mean. They didn't give them resources, but they were good in selecting them to push them forward, because they bet the whole bank there, and they got everything back in the amount of awards. And then Blade Runner. So Blade Runner, just the whole vibe, man. Just the whole vibe of Blade Runner. I think Officer K, who's the main character in Blade Runner, there's a film trope called Literally Me. That's like the film trope, right? And people like, I don't know, they see Officer K and just the way he lives his life, and they can see themselves in this character. And Officer K, he goes through a lot of stuff, and it's actually it's quite sad, that film, when you really deep it. And of course Hans Zimmer's on the soundtrack in it, so yeah. Some of the best cinematography you ever see. Denis Villeneuve, I say that wrong all the time. Yeah, he's just an absolute G for that film. He doesn't, like, in all of his films, he doesn't miss. That guy, every single shot in the majority of his films, like, perfect. There's not one bad cut. You can think of like Arrivals, Prisoners, Blade Runner, Dune, all of his films. There's not one bad cut, not one bad shot, nothing's color corrected wrong, and that shit, I'm like, yeah, your consistency is amazing. That was the longest winded answer for me yet.
What is a skill you're looking to learn or improve on?
A skill I'm looking to learn and improve on is motion, like motion design. So like After Effects. I think things happening on screen as you're like creating a video, they do add a lot of like production value. And if you don't know how to create your own, you're stuck using like motion graphics packs that other like people just like create these packs and say, oh, download these, and it's like a lower third or like a title, and if it's a popular pack, then loads of creators are using it. And I'm like, no, the originality is gone now. If we're all going to be using like the same or similar packs, I'd rather create them on my own. So I want to learn at some point, but every time I go to search, and the course on Udemy or Skillshare is like 5 weeks long, I'm like, nah, I can't be bothered to learn how to do motion design, but I'm like desperate to, and I will start soon. But that's one thing I'd want to learn.
It's time, man. Time for
everything.
Precious,
it is. And that's it. I just don't have the time. I don't have the time to like. I say that, but that's an excuse. No. You ain't trying to catch me out like that. Nah, that's an excuse. I got time. I need to just manage it a little bit better. I'm trying my hardest. I promise.
Hey, don't dwell on time management, man. Like, we only got 24 hours in a day, innit?
Bruh. Yeah. Time just be going quick. How are we in? We're in June already.
Yeah, it's
like
absolutely blinked by. To be fair, I can't.
Too fast.
Is there one thing everyone should know about? Random, anything, something that you've learned, something that you think not many people know about, something that you've recently learned. Is there anything?
This is gonna be so weird, right? So the universe is ever expanding, right? What's it expanding into? And I think if I get enough people to just like join me on this thought process, someone can come and be like, all right, we need answers to this. The universe is ever expanding, but where is it going? What is infinite? What is infinity expanding into? You understand?
Are you scared of space?
I love space. I love space.
No, because for me it's more like stuff like what do you think the black hole goes in?
Where the black holes go?
Yeah.
Oh, that is a mad question. And I would like to know. I don't know. I have no idea, bro. I have no idea.
And is there alternate universes? Or is it just, I think that, because is it proven? Have they proven that there's...
I don't think so. I don't think there's alternate universes, but I think there's like
or solar systems.
Other lives, other like intelligent life out there.
So you believe, yeah. So do you believe that there's other living life on other planets?
Living life is one thing. Intelligent life is something else. Because like life is just anywhere that there's water. You know what I mean? But I think there is people like us, just galaxies away. You cannot think when you deep life, yeah. This conversation is going mad. But when you deep life, there's no way you can think that we're so special, that we're the only race or we're the only species that got to a point like this. Nah, that's impossible, man.
It depends it depends what aspects you look at. Yeah. I guess from a religious point, some people might be that, yeah. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Obviously, God's made us, only us, but scientifically, you can be like.
But he made the whole universe, though.
So we don't know.
Exactly. He made the whole universe, so nah, there's no way. It's just us, and I can't wait. I'm telling you right now, yeah. If there's one thing that keeps me going in life, I'm waiting for the day aliens invade. Like, I'm waiting for the day aliens just like say, yo, because it would debunk so many things. Like, so much will be fixed in that moment. Like, yeah, I'm gonna lie, because. But that's one thing I want people to know about. That's my one thing.
No, okay, one last question. Do you think aliens have visited Earth?
Have visited Earth?
Already?
Absolutely, yeah. I think so, man. There's some, not like in the old school like flying saucer Area 51 Roswell thing. I'm talking just like, they just like flew over and people were just like, they probably in their spacecraft just thinking, I ain't going down there, man. I ain't going down there. But one thing though, right? With the way technology is and the way like camera phones are.
Aliens.
This aliens question. Yeah, man. I don't have much to say on aliens, to be honest. There's no way on this earth, in this universe, that we are the only intelligent life form. Like, no way. If in all of infinity you think we won, and you know what? I'm gonna loop this all the way back to the start now, because this is why you should have confidence when you go out in the world, because this thing is infinite, you know. We are really just a speck of dust in the desert, figuratively, metaphorically, you know. So just do it. Just do whatever it is you want to do. Just try things, approach people, send that email, you know what I mean? Send that DM, because we're really just out here on a floating rock. For real, bro. And one day aliens are going to visit us, and yeah, it's going to be a mad thing.
It's going to be there. No, it's been a good chat. Mad. So obviously it's amazing chatting. You've got abundance energy. Yeah. Seems like you've, you know what I mean, with 100percentcrit, looks amazing from what we see so far. We love the growth. We love the fact that, you know, you're owning something for yourself. Like I said, for a lot of people, taking that leap, as we like to call it, can be, it can be daunting, it can be hard.
Yeah.
So yeah, where do you see 100percentcrit in the future?
Where do I see 100percentcrit in the future? So it's funny, right? I'm having to influencer my way to 100percentcrit being an independent media brand, but I never saw like 100percentcrit just being me. That's never been the plan. 100percentcrit is supposed to be something similar to an IGN, a GameSpot, a Eurogamer. It's supposed to be a mixture of like old and new. So when you think of old and new, you think of like new being like influencers. That's where a lot of people get their information about games from nowadays, and old being games press, so games websites and IGN and GameSpot and all those sorts of things. But I'm trying to get to a point where there's loads of people covering games, lifestyle, entertainment, all under one banner. I see myself in like a banging like office/studio, and everyone's just contributing their different ideas. But I want to have creators and personalities on board who are really about this life, who are willing to do things differently, who are willing to like put the extra effort in, and they're not just out here to just, I don't know, make a quick buck. I want people who want to make a difference. You know what I mean? Who say, oh, I can do this review, but I can actually do it in this other way, this alternative way, and I think you might like it. Let's give it a try. You know what I mean? I want to do this thing differently because I've seen reviews, previews in the same format for years, and I'm just like, this is boring. There's more to do, and I feel like the way information and gameplay and all this news about gaming is being delivered has plateaued a lot. It was like going up, and then the internet came along and like stabilized, and it was just like, oh, we're here now. But I think 100% crit, if you give me enough time, I can send it back up that way and do things differently that's actually entertaining to watch. Because if you watch one review, you've seen them all at the moment. But I want to be like, yeah, if you want to watch a review, you should watch 100% Crit's review, because these guys, they're entertaining, they're funny, they've got strong personalities, and they're trustworthy and authoritative, and you can take their word for it. If they say it's this, then it probably is that. And I don't want that to just be coming from me. I want it to be coming from all the other people that will be a part of 100% Crit in the future.
Nice. Where can people find you, man?
Boy.
What's the social handles? Where you at?
We're absolutely everywhere. Search 100% Crit on literally everything. Mainly, our biggest audience at the moment is on TikTok, because we're trying to capture them, the new eyes. I say new eyes, but everyone's just on there now. Everyone's on there. But yeah, 100% Crit, absolutely everywhere. Come find us. Come and say hi. We're trying. We're still scaling. So yeah, I hope you come along for the ride. Give me time. Give me time. That's it. Come on. Hey, 100% Crit till it's backwards and forwards again. Come on.